morning, everyone. Welcome to At Home with Hayley. Happy Friday. I must say, thank God it's Friday. It's been one of those weeks. Lots of really exciting news to share with you. Very, very busy and lots of hectic stuff going on my end as well. Hopefully you've all had a wonderful month. I cannot believe it's the 1st of March. Where has this quarter gone? Before I get started, a few housekeeping. Let me know where you're dialing in from. Pop in the chat box that you can hear me loud and clear, and there's no issues with mics, etc. I am operating 2 computers today, and those that know me know that that doesn't always go down too well. So we will see. I can see people coming through. So we've got Magnus in Sweden, Laura from Australia, but actually now living in the UK, really hitting the ground with her UK property business. We've got Ivy from Hong Kong. We've got James from Dudley. Hi, James. So we've got lots and lots of people coming through. Good morning to all of you. So let's get started. So, of course, I am Hayley Andrews. This is At Home with Hayley, and we are all things property. So this is a monthly webinar where we talk about property updates, news, what's going on with you right now. It's a chance for you to ask questions and get those questions answered by someone that's been in the industry for a very long time. And it's also a platform where we'll introduce you to people that can help you within your business. So we'll have guest speakers as well. We are on episode 71. So we've been going a long time now. It was originally set up for updates during the first lockdown with COVID. So COVID is gone, and and we're all very much recovered from that now, which is excellent. But we were so popular that we continued with the market updates anyway. So hopefully you're enjoying the show. All of the shows are recorded and will go on to YouTube for our internationals and those that are not able to commit live. And of course, if you are watching on YouTube as well, make sure you hit the like button, subscribe, and hit the bell icon as well, so that you get notifications when new material gets uploaded. I've got loads of exciting things to talk to you about today. You are stuck with only me today, unfortunately, or fortunately, I'm not entirely sure. So just a little bit about me for those that are on today's session that don't know who I am. I am, of course, Hayley Andrews. I'm the co-founder of Your Freedom Empire, which is a business and property training organisation based in the UK. I own a estate and lettings agency, a construction company, along with many other kind of property related companies as well. I've been in the industry since 2002. I've done everything from buy-to-lets, HMOs, serviced accommodation, hotels, lease options, sourcing, development, car parks, listed buildings, conversions, everything from small shop conversions up to factory conversions into large HMOs, and of course development as well. So I've done a bit of everything. I've been around a long time, and hopefully that means I've learned a lot of lessons along the way and can help you avoid making the same mistakes I did, and hopefully still answer your questions as well. So that's enough about me. So I'm going to jump into today's session. We do have a market update for you, market and news update, and I'll also talk to you about some of the exciting things that's been happening with me and some upcoming events as well. So I'm going to pop off camera. I remember I'm operating 2 computers here, so bear with me. And I'm going to jump into today's market, or this month's market update. Now, of course, all the statistics and things like that I'll be talking to you about is stats from February's performance within the property market. And so just be aware of that. Okay, so February 24 has presented a continued robust picture of the UK property market, headlines suggest. So let's have a look at a few of those statistics. So house prices on sales agreed, so homes, rose in February by an average of around £8 per square foot to £339 per square foot from £331 per square foot in January 24. So we've seen a slight uplift there in price per square foot. Listings are higher, so we've got listings at 17% higher than 2024 year-to-date average. Gross sales are 20.3% higher than the weekly year-to-date average and 19.76% higher than the 2023 weekly average, so that's excellent news. Net sales are at 31.4% higher than 2023 as it currently stands. Sale fall-throughs continue to be at record lows, which is excellent, at 1 in 5 sales falling through. This year's year-to-date listings stand at 187,370. So that's surpassing the historical 8-year average of around 171,729. Sale fall-throughs are down at 5,034. This is lower than the 2023 average, and that was at 5,382 weekly fall-throughs. So the fact that sale fall-throughs are down is again very good news. So that's all very well and good. What does our good friend Zoopla say over at Zoopla House Price Index? So just a summary on their report. So buyers' demand is up 11% year on year, while the numbers of sales agreed has increased 15% during the same period across all regions and countries of the UK. The figures provided by Zoopla shows that the North East and London have led the rebound in new buyers' demand. Meanwhile, the supply of homes for sales is 21% higher than a year ago, a further sign of greater confidence amongst vendors, while also increasing the choice for purchasers as well. To add, estate agents agreed 6 new sales a month versus 5.2 a year earlier. I think those that were sitting on the fence have decided they are more confident now to move forward. Though interest rates have not started to fall yet, the Bank of England's last Monetary Policy Committee meeting has given people confidence, as they now know that borrowing costs are likely or unlikely to increase. If inflation falls as expected, the Bank of England will consider cutting interest rates, which will help ease, of course, the financial strain placed on the nation. So while the housing market is not back to its full speed yet, or just yet, it is certainly accelerating, which is shown in the figures and activity that we're seeing firsthand. The surge of 21% more homes on the market is a really encouraging sign, and this is being met with far greater buyers' confidence. The 11% increase in buyers' demand definitely chimes with the uptick in buyers' inquiries being reported, and with people encouraged to progress with their property search by lenders bringing interest rates down, has all kind of added to the mix and uptick in interest again. Have we seen the blip come and go? What's your thoughts? Pop them in the chat box and let me know. I guess time will tell. Now, while we're seeing some positive strides towards recovery, it's important to remember that there might be a few bumps along the way. nothing is ever smooth and the road is never straight. Yesterday's figures show a slight dip in the house price inflation, which might raise a few eyebrows. But hey, no need to hit the panic button just yet. It seems like lenders are nudging up mortgage rates in response to a minor levelling off in inflation. But fear not, the basic rate has remained steady, and fingers are crossed it stays that way when the Monetary Policy Committee get together again in March. Who knows? We might even see it drop this year if inflation behaves itself. Again, let me know your thoughts in the chat box. So what's the takeaway here? Well, as long as you've got a savvy property advisor on your side who knows their stuff, you can still snag a good deal. And my mantra is now is always the time to buy. It's not about time in the marketplace. It's about time in the market. In my opinion, now and over the next 12 months is a great time to buy. It's all about having someone who can properly value a property so you're getting the best bang for your buck. Now, looking ahead, many of us are eagerly awaiting the spring budget to see if there's any good news for home buyers and investors. Let's hope the Chancellor seizes the moment and throws some support our way. But let's be real. It is Friday, so why not keep it real? The government actually, the government actually pull through? Well, we'll see, and we'll have to wait and see. Regardless, as we step into spring, things are looking pretty rosy for the property market overall. So keep your chin up because it seems like how our housing market scene is blossoming. So let's talk a little bit about more news then. So there's been a lot about the rental reform bill. I've had loads of questions come to me about this, and lots of people talking about this topic. So what landlords need to know. So Section 21 abolishment is inevitable, but delays may occur due to court process improvements just not progressing at the pace we'd expect. Landlords are urged to stay informed on changes and potential impacts on eviction procedures. This February, so a few weeks ago, I believe it was Valentine's Day actually, but don't quote me on that, Michael Gove confirmed that Section 21 will be outlawed before the general election. However, Deputy Leader of the Labour Party strongly refuted Gove's claims, stating that these are yet more weasel words from Michael Gove after years of broken promises. I don't particularly like her, but I definitely don't like him, and agree with her on one thing, that Gove is definitely a weasel. Again, pop your comments in the chat box. Do you agree, or what's your thoughts? And it's okay to disagree as well. I'm a pretty level-headed person. I don't. However, yes, the government has outlined that improvements should include, alongside that Section 21, digitalising the court process, exploring how courts can prioritise disputes when antisocial behaviour is involved, improving bailiff recruitment, which is desperately needed, and just I've never seen it as bad as it is now, and providing more advice and counsel to landlords and tenants. So these enhancements aim to streamline the court system and address various challenges faced by landlords and tenants in navigating the eviction process. They're looking at strengthening Section 8 grounds as well, which is desperately needed and actually can be a massive positive for us as landlords. As I've said many times before, many of us use the Section 21 as a route for actually fault evictions, where we could go down other sections, but choose to go down that clear-cut route for possession and exercise our rights under Section 21, where in most cases we actually do that. Other grounds can be, we could actually use other grounds, and we just choose to go down that route as it's a more seamless route to follow. So strengthening the grounds of Section 8 would be perfect. Proposed changes to Section 8 include mandatory grounds for repeated rent arrears, and landlords may evict tenants if they plan to sell a property or accommodate family members after 6 months. Also moving into the single system of periodic tenancies as well. So all the short hold tenancies will transition to rolling tenancies with no specific end date. Tenants must give 2 months notice before leaving, and evictions only permitted under reasonable circumstances. On the students, which has been a massive kind of topic, and there's been loads of concerns. So those concerns have been addressed regarding the impact of periodic tenancies on student lets, and they seem to have listened to the concerns as well. And strengthened grounds have been introduced for landlords to regain possession at the end of an academic year. Other stuff are tenants giving more rights to keep pets in the properties, a new ombudsman covering all private landlords, and a property portal for private landlords and tenants. So in conclusion, landlords should closely monitor legislative I can't talk today, legislative changes, and it is Friday, and make sure that you're looking at potential adjustment to rental procedures and staying up to date with those legislation and any changes. So stay informed, communicate with tenants, and seek professional advice to navigate the evolving regulations effectively. But amongst the ongoing discussions around the Renters Reform Bill, there are notable positives here for landlords to consider. So I thought it'd be good to kind of highlight a few of those. So proposed amendments being circulated amongst MPs suggest improvements that could address concerns raised by landlords. These amendments aim to strike a fair balance between the rights of the tenant and the legitimate business needs of landlords. Only one key aspect in the assurance of a 6-month minimum term for tenancies, providing landlords with greater stability and predictability in their rental agreement. Additionally, efforts to enhance confidence in the court process have been emphasised as well, ensuring that landlords have a reliable avenue for resolving any disputes. The focus on developing a replacement system that is both fair and workable for both parties is a promising step forward, although nobody likes change. By seeking to address uncertainties and establish clearer guidelines, these amendments have the potential to bring a much needed stability to the private rental sector. While the Renters Reform Bill may have faced delays and uncertainties, it is, however, encouraging to see efforts being made to progress the legislation in a manner that considers the interest of all stakeholders. As the discussions continue, landlords can remain hopeful for a balanced approach that ensures the sector remains viable and sustainable for the future. Again, as I always say, time will tell. I wish they'd just get on with it, really, so that at least we all know exactly what's going on and we can make informed decisions off the back of that. So what else could I talk about? While we're on reform, let's talk about planning and more specifically PD. So PD has gone mad this month. Everyone is raving about the changes this Feb. So let's have a look at some of them and what they mean and a few other announcements or previous announcements as well. So a few key points and a biggie, the size limit on has been scrapped in Class MA and vacant requirement. So Class MA allows for any building within Use Class E to be converted to residential. This includes shops, offices, restaurants, cafes, and many more uses found in most high streets across England. Effective March the 5th, 2024, the UK government has abolished the size limit and the requirements for buildings to be vacant for 3 months before submission for conversion to residential under Class MA. Previously, only buildings under 1,500 square metres could be converted, and 3 months vacancy was mandatory. This change presents opportunities for fully converting buildings that were previously only partially converted. However, other restrictions such as assessments in conservation areas and prohibitions in specific to certain zones like national parks, listed buildings, remains unchanged. Applications submitted before the 5th of March must comply with the previous regulations. So government's announcements, planning changes and registration schemes for holiday lets, that's another big one everybody's been talking about. So summary, it's been announced new rules for short-term lets requiring planning permission for future holiday lets properties. A planning use class, which is, I believe, C5, will be created for short-term lets not used as primary residence. So existing dedicated short-term lets will be automatically reclassified and exempt from planning applications. Associated permitted development rights will allow conversions between short-term lets and residential dwellings, but local authorities can revoke these permissions. A mandatory national register will be provide local authorities with more information about short-term lets. The measure will not affect hotels, hostels or B&Bs. Homeowners can let their property, their primary residence, for up to 90 nights per year without planning permission. Those of you that have heard me or been to any of my serviced accommodation training would know that the 90-day rule allowing homeowners to let their primary residence without planning permission in London came into force in 2015, predating the Olympics. So it's been around for a while there. So they're rolling that out really to the rest of the UK. The government aim is really to strike a balance between supporting tourism, which is definitely needed, and addressing housing needs as well. However, industry experts criticise the policies, arguing that they have scapegoat holiday lets for the housing crisis and added unnecessary red tape. Of which I kind of agree, but it is what it is. We can only work with what is presented in front of us and follow the guidelines as professionals, and really it just gives us clear guidelines. So a few others then, Class A, extensions to dwellings and other permitted alterations. So currently single-storey extensions are limited to 4 metres for detached and 3 metres for terraced and semi-detached properties. Proposed increase are to 5 metres and 4 metres retrospectively. Double-storey extension limited to 3 metres with 7 metre boundary from the rear, proposed to increase to 4 metres with a setback requirement, removal of the 50% cultledge limit for outbuildings, extensions and decking, and proposal to allow wraparound single-storey rear extensions as well. So Class B, alterations to the roof, so removal of the cubic metre limit for dormers on detached, semi-detached and terraced houses, removal of 20 centimetre setback requirement for dormers not visible from the street, possibility of raising the roof by 30 centimetres in addition to the dormer alterations, and potential allowance of dormers on flats or masonettes in buildings without requiring planning permissions. Class C, other alterations to the roof, so Velox roof windows, etc. Class E, buildings incidental to enjoyment of a house, so such as outbuildings, proposal to allow bin and bike stores forward of the front elevation under permitted development, potential removal of the limit on ground coverage in designated areas like areas of natural beauty, Broads, national parks, etc. Timings of proposed changes and consultation. So that's just on the last section of this. As we said, the others come in to effect in March. Consultation closes on the 9th of April this year. Expected final legislation before Parliament in early autumn, and a 4-week period expected before changes become law. If you can hear my dog in the background, it is At Home with Hayley, and I am at home. So I do apologise in advance. So applications after the law change will be submitted to the new limits. So these proposed changes, if implemented, could significantly impact homeowners and developers, offering more flexibility and opportunities for development. And I think that's it on my market update. I did actually have an article come through this morning about energy, but unfortunately I didn't have time to kind of include it in my market update. So maybe I'll pop it, or the link to the article, which was very interesting, on the YouTube. My apologies, not entirely sure what happened just there. Let me just pop here and check everything's okay. I got kicked out, unfortunately, just when I was about to talk to you about the most important part. Right, if you can pop in the chat box that you can hear me. Yes, brilliant, fantastic. I've got loads of yeses coming through. Very, very good. Thank you so much. Downside, through being kicked out, all of the questions that came through, which there were an awful lot, have actually gone out of my chat box now. So if you did have a question, please pop it in the chat box. I'll make sure that I get to those after these announcements. So bear with me one moment. Just going to check the slides, and we'll get started again. Brilliant. Right. Okay. Hopefully this still translates and goes very well, and is connecting, and somehow my wonderful team can kind of join the two up and pop it all onto YouTube. Right. Thank you, Eva. Right. So where were we? Hard hats to heels. So this is a phenomenal female network that me and a group of awesome women have put together for the ladies out there. So we are launching on International Women's Day, which is the 8th of March. This is a great exclusive and inclusive place where women are supporting women. Now, sorry, guys, I'm sure we'll do a boys only club, but being in the property industry for over 20 years, it is a boys club anyway. So we're not going to apologize. We're going to dust off our hard hats, slip into our heels, and have some fun with the ladies alone. So we have some awesome guests for our first event. So we have Emma Fielding, who is doing awesome things in property. I presented to her last year Young Property Investor of the Year award, and it was absolutely a pleasure. And we have Kim McKinley as well of Vibe Finance, who again is just a trailblazer and awesome speaker. She will be definitely well, both of them are phenomenal speakers. Both of them are going to be blowing your socks off, so make sure you bring an extra pair. So if you haven't got your tickets, it is limited spaces. It will be live, and it is at the YFE headquarters in Dudley. And you can scan the QR code on screen. I believe we have around 15 tickets left. That's it. So if you would like to be part of that, it's our very first event. This will become a monthly event as well. But the first one is going to be special. We're going to have champagne, balloons, and a hell of a lot of fun. After the event as well, of which, of course, I will be there. After the event, we'll pop out for a drink to my bar and restaurant as well. So if you want to have a look around some of the properties that I own, then pop along and come and have some fun with the ladies. So another event coming up, I always support the Property Investor Show. Nick Clark is a very, very nice man. He's been in the industry a really long time. It's one of the biggest shows, property shows that the UK do. And it's very, very good for anyone that's looking for inspiration, looking to take action, looking for people to put in their teams or people to collaborate with, or even if you're looking for education. If you are looking for education, you really should be coming to Your Freedom Empire, because we are the best. However, there's lots of education on offer, and there's some of the leading industry experts within that room. It makes a great place for networking. That is at the Excel. It's free for you to attend. You can book your ticket online. So pop along to the website, propertyinvestor.co.uk, and you can book your ticket. That's the 19th and the 20th of April. I will be there as well, and come and say hi. And then those of you again that have been watching my anything that I'm doing on social media, we've just finished filming. It was the week of Valentine's week, actually. We've just finished filming Series 7 of Property Elevator. And as you can see, we're in the iconic studios of Dragon's Den. And for those that know the show, it is basically people pitching their deals for investment. So their property deals, their property developments, and looking to joint venture with one of the angels to get funding for their next deal. If you haven't watched the show, make sure you pop in your diary. Series 7 is out June. I will say the exact date and of the first episode to go live. I'm not allowed at this moment in time to talk to you about the deals that I invested in or who got through and who didn't. We had hundreds of people apply to be on the show, and it was shortlisted down to 15 or 18, I believe. So those that made it to the show, congratulations. Those that got funding, congratulations, but keep it quiet for now. And very, very much looking forward to the show coming live to your TV screens. It is going to be by far the best series yet. There's a whole new concept that's been introduced to the show, and it's super entertaining. There will be lots and lots of behind the scenes footage coming out between now and June. So again, keep your eye on Property Elevator social medias. Follow if you're not following already, and keep an eye on my social medias as well. If you haven't already, connect with all of the angels. They are superb within their field, and we're a great bunch of. We're a great bunch. Let's just keep it at that. Lots and lots of banter, lots and lots of arguments, and lots of fighting over deals. But you know me, I hold my own, and it was a fantastic week of filming. I'm going to skip over this one. If you want to see any past episodes that I've done with Property TV on Property Question Time, pop over to Property TV's YouTube channel. There's lots of stuff on there, but this is actually out every Tuesday and Thursday. I haven't been on the show for a while, just simply because I've been so busy. But you can watch past episodes, but it's actually a great show to watch regardless. So they always have excellent guests on the show, and they're always talking about, hot topics and questions from the public and from you. So if you have questions you'd like to ask on the show, you can email Property TV, and I'm sure they'll put it on their next episode. And then, of course, we have the Property Success Convention, which is a one-day online live training where you can register for free. During this session, we will talk to you about market updates, strategies, what's working right now, what to be aware of, fundamentals of each individual strategy, things to look out for, how to do research, structure deals from a finance perspective, timings, schedules, and all things like that. So you can walk away from this training knowing how and what to do to move your own property business forward. And the reason we put this training on is so that people can take the training, make some money out of it, and then come back to us for further training and mentorship to be able to really push their business to the next level and put a stake in the ground and start building their UK property business. So if you haven't attended already, scan the QR code on screen now or pop along to our website and sign up for the next Property Success Convention. And then, of course, we're still doing these free consultation calls. So it could be with myself or one of the YFE mentors. It is a 30-minute free call where we can discuss you, your current circumstances and situation, and answer any questions that you may have, discuss any training that you might want, and everything else in between. So if you would like to book a free consultation call in, either pop along to our website or scan the QR code on screen now. And that's it. I'm going to say thank you so much. I have a very, very busy Friday and a very, very busy weekend as well, actually. And then a super busy week next week. Busy seems to be my middle name at the moment. But it's all good. It's all stuff that I'm wanting to do. It's all a choice at the end of the day. I'm in my element and I'm loving every moment of it. So watch my journey online. If you have any questions, you know where I am. I'm going to say have an awesome Friday, an excellent month, and I'll see you again next month with another market update and a very special guest for you next month as well. So I'm going to say goodbye for now.